into it. So the very first question was, what are some during the flight airplane hacks? Okay, so I've got mine, and I think the first one will be kind of obvious, but I want to go into why. So you probably heard or seen, or you maybe hopefully already own a pair of these noise canceling headphones, which I understood a long time ago. Like, yes, they can do it. There's science behind it. I believe it. I just didn't believe that it was going to be worth it. And so I never bought a pair. There always seemed like, do I want to spend the money on this? It just doesn't seem like, what's the payoff? And so for Christmas one time, I was like, yeah, you know what? I keep hearing that these are actually really good, especially when traveling. So, I'll see if, someone wants to pick those up for me, because I don't want to spend the money on them. So, did that, got them and wore them, and they were amazing. And I kicked myself for not doing it years ago. That for me totally transformed it. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, it didn't make flights like more comfortable. It doesn't make the seats bigger, but it really does block out the noise, really brings it down. And for myself, getting off of a flight, sometimes I just feel like kind of foggy or a little bit of a headache, and I think that was just from the noise levels. And being able to put on these noise canceling headphones for several hours and walking off the plane, I honestly can feel a physical difference. And then that obviously helps kind of mentally, like I don't feel as fatigued getting off the flight. So for me, I would say it's worth it. Obviously, if you can grab a pair, there's many brands out there. They vary widely. Just read reviews, and I would imagine get a pair that has good reviews is probably the way to go with that. But yeah, that for me was the biggest change. Barring that, if you don't want to, for whatever reason, you don't want to get those, maybe wearing earplugs or that type of a headphone. But I will say, it's tough if you have headphones that don't block some of the noise. Then you're really just going to be like double blasting your head with really loud music, which one, isn't that great for you, and two, might even give you a headache and make it worse. So that's mine. I really enjoy that. And then it leads into this other stuff that it makes me more productive because I'm more relaxed. I feel better. I can block out stuff, the people around me, it's not bugging me as much. And so I'm able to concentrate on whatever it is I'm doing, whether it's, being, writing down some notes or watching a movie or whatever it is. So secondly, if you want to be more productive on the flight, I think you really need to be realistic about this. Okay. I would say choose the easy to do things, okay? And maybe for me, it's a good time to kind of learning or getting things out of my head. So I'll go kind of two paths with that and say that, consuming media is really easy for me when I'm on the flight. I've got my headphones on, so obviously listening to things is easy. Listening to a podcast, catching up on an audiobook. I find that those are good, and you need to obviously have that stuff ready to go beforehand, or it makes it much easier. Especially then if you're going to watch a video, you probably need to have that downloaded ahead of time. So I find that that's really the best use of my time. I would say that as far as writing, I know some people, this is totally up to you. If you can fit in the seat, even if it's business, first class, wherever you're at, it's tough for me to do that. And so I'll do it if I really need to, but it's generally just to like get something out of my head quickly. It's uncomfortable for me to try to use a normal laptop. So what I'll use sometimes is I've done like note cards if I'm going over like a talk or just some points maybe for a presentation or something, that's more for me. I feel comfortable. I can kind of, do it on the little table in my seat. Other than that, I would say that this one is good. It may not help your productivity, but it can make your flight a lot better. And my wife introduced this to me. She started bringing stuff for the flight attendants and, expecting nothing in return, just saying, hey, we grabbed you a little box of chocolates. We appreciate what you guys do. We know you probably have kind of a thankless task sometimes and deal with some really crappy people, and just saying thanks. And, that they're honestly, most of the time, they're just really happy. Like, oh, we appreciate you taking the time to say that. Who wouldn't? And, sometimes they've been, nice and given us something to eat or something like that. But if you go into it, generally with the idea of, hey, I expect nothing, I just kind of want to say thanks and make this better, then it's kind of a win-win. You're probably going to make somebody's day and they might do something nice for you, or you just did something nice and, hopefully you can be good with that. All right. So those are the big ones for me as far as being kind of optimizing time on a flight. And I think that really is important, to be realistic with yourself about how much you're going to get done. I tend to just think of like bigger ideas of like, I'm going to listen or like listen to an audiobook. That's kind of like my goal. And then it's much easier instead of being like specific tasks. Like I'm going to go through and edit all this stuff and do this and that. I find that that stuff falls apart really quickly for me. So thanks for watching. You can stay up to date by subscribing right there. If you'd like to come join our free Facebook group about process, automation, productivity, all that good stuff, you can do that right there. Just answer the few quick questions and you'll be in.